some of the specific challenges here at SMU as you take over?
One thing I know is that there are a lot of great things that have happened here recently, and we've got some momentum. I think Steve did a great job. That's apparent by, some of the facilities and the coaches and the things I think that are more obvious and evident and discussed. So, I've really been focused on those things as I try to learn more about maybe where some of the gaps are or what will need to occur early on. So I think we'll just focus on building relationships, and again, I'll do a lot of listening to try to learn a lot about, how can I play a role in carrying some of those positive things that have been occurring forward. How can I support and facilitate those things, and then, if we identify areas of weakness or threats or concerns, then we'll talk about how do we address those as well.
Of course, football is the first thing that comes up with everybody, but how much do you have to immerse yourself in the basketball program with the renovation of the arena and a new coaching staff and then going into a real basketball-rich conference in a year?
Yeah, I don't know quite yet exactly how to prioritize the various projects and tasks that you're referring to. So I'll need to learn a little more about what stage we're in with the Moody Coliseum plan. But football and again the fall sports, I mean, they're upon us, and I know that we've got to take advantage of the opportunities. With a strong team coming back and 3 straight bowl games and some of that excitement, and really build on that. Again, the home schedule is really unbelievable. When I looked at it, 7 home games, 4 against Texas schools, only 1 Thursday night game, which, if you have 1 or 2, you can really build those up to be special as well. So I think just learning about what can we do in the next couple months to really leverage, again, our resources and create a special atmosphere in Gerald Ford Stadium. That'll probably be one of the early focuses.
Obviously, coming in, there's 2. I know there's a lot of coaches here, but Larry Brown and June Jones, you have 2 big-name coaches. Talk
Sure.
about your expectations of them and working with guys like that.
Yeah, we got to spend some time together last week when I was in town. Good guys, guys that care about SMU, guys that care about students. So when you have those elements in place, you're going to be okay. We talked about expectations. We talked again about how I can help them achieve the goals we're going to set for our program, and I think we're going to work great together. I've talked to Coach Jones again on the phone since that time, and we'll stay in close contact. So I know Larry's been traveling a little bit, but look forward to working with both of them as well as all the other coaches.
I think your attendance at football, Chattanooga, like more than double when you were down there. How do you boost this thing here and get sellout crowds here on a consistent basis? What's your approach in that regard?
Well, we got to create an exciting product, which I think, again, June's well on his way to doing that already. And that's the key. Winning and exciting football is going to advance our program and impact attendance far greater than any other single thing we can do. But I think collectively, we need to develop a plan, how we're going to reach out to the community and which aspects of the community we're going to target. What is the message? Is it meaningful to them? I think we have to modify our approaches, to really resonate with whomever it is we're trying to get out to the games. Then we got to make the games the place to be. We got to make it a social event, not more than just football, because that's what college football is. It's those 7 Saturdays or Thursdays a year where you go out all day and you tailgate and you have the game. So we've got to get to work on that. I know there's already great work being done. There's already a committee that's been put together with representation from a lot of various groups. I think that's critical. We got to get input and as many perspectives as we can. We don't have all the good ideas. No one of us is as smart as all of us. So we've got to really reach out and ask the community what they want. And I think we have to go and communicate that message throughout Dallas.
Because of your family background, do you feel like you were born to do a job like this?
If you could be born to do a job, I guess I feel like I'm as close as I could get to that. I'm wondering how Trevor and Caroline feel about it, the 4th generation. But, it sounds, I guess, odd perhaps, but it really wasn't until my junior year in college when I really settled on a career in athletics administration. I'd almost gone through life. And again, I realize this speaks to my intellect, but not even realizing it was a career choice. It was just a way of life for me. So it dawned on me pretty late.
Fair or unfair, I'm sure that somebody's gone. You're going to SMU. That's the place where, the NCAA and all that. What do you think needs to be done to totally wipe that image? Or do you think it's something that's just is part of the past and you just have to keep doing what you're trying to do and build and move on?
Yeah, I think we just have to focus on what we can do moving forward. I mean, I think it's always going to be part of our history, but I think what we can do is create other memories that will be mentioned alongside or in lieu of that particular memory. So that's what we've got to focus on. And, you know, to your question, the people who have approached me since learning that I was coming to SMU, I mean, the comments have really been, what a tremendous institution, what a great opportunity. You know, Dallas is unbelievable. You got great coaches there. Things seem to be, again, on the upward swing. And so I think that's the unique and exciting part about this is, again, there are so many good things that either have happened or are happening. We've got to not only concentrate on where to get better in our weak areas, but where to get better in areas of strength as well.
Who'd you contact when they started putting out feelers for you? Who did you kind of use as a sounding board to see if this was a good job? Did you talk to people around these parts, or you talk to your dad? Or?
I talked to a number of people. Yeah, my dad being one of them. He's usually among the group that I'll reach out to. But I talked to a lot of people. I talked to residents of Dallas that I know. I talked to SMU graduates that I know. I spoke with people inside and outside of college athletics that were familiar with either SMU or President Turner or some of our coaches or the area, just to get as good a feel as possible. Because again, we were in a great situation in Chattanooga. Quality of life is very high. Still plenty of work to do there. And so to uproot my family and to, you know, you put your heart and soul into something for 6 years, it's a pretty big deal to walk away from that. And so, you know, I talked to quite a few people to make sure that this was the right opportunity for us.
Any message from those people that stuck out in your mind?
Yeah, probably first and foremost, the respect and reputation that Dr. Turner has throughout the country, not only in higher education, but again in athletics, as being someone who is informed and who supports and who really does share the values that I hold as it relates to the role that we play in the university community. So, you know, that was probably the overwhelming sentiment that resonated, because if he and I aren't going to have, you know, the type of relationship that can help move the entire university forward, that makes both of our jobs very difficult. So that was very important.
President Turner said, I think you're starting August 13th. What do you do in the next 4 weeks or so in making that transition? And because I know you probably still have things to wrap up there. And you want to get started here.
Yeah, find some release valve somewhere. I'm not sure. You know, it's going to be a challenge, but I do appreciate President Turner giving me that time. You know, it's difficult, obviously, because again, with the fall right around the corner, I want to come in here as quickly as possible. I know the staff and coaches probably want to see that, so I'll be accessible. But it's also very important to me that as I exit UTC, I do that in a manner similar to the manner I arrived in. You know, make sure that everybody's taken care of there, that I'm not leaving any person or department or program in a lurch because of my exit. And we are going to take a vacation we had planned. I think that's important for the kids and myself, for that matter. So I think there'll probably be a lot of, you know, during the day, kind of UTC responsibilities, and then nights and weekends be talking back with coaches and staff and personnel here in Dallas.
There's been talk in recent years about facility upgrades or additions, whether it's an indoor practice facility for football or a natatorium or that kind of thing. When you spoke about increasing the national profile of SMU athletics, where does facility improvements rank on your priority list?
Well, first, let me tell you, I haven't seen our facilities yet, so I've got to figure out what we've got first. First time I stepped foot in this building was about an hour ago. So I got to figure out what we got. But having said that, we also got to pay attention to equity, you know, as we're planning facilities, and make sure that we're being responsible in that way. So I just need to learn a little more about priorities. You know, I don't think we can do everything at once. I don't know, maybe I've got a copy of the facility master plan, but I'm uncertain as to which facility is next, or if it's kind of whichever one we can raise the money for, and that'll be the sequence. So I'm not sure, but I know Moody's got a pretty solid plan behind it, I'm told, and I know it has 2 lead gifts. So I think that would be moving forward relatively quickly, and obviously that will impact a number of programs, men and women. But beyond that, I just don't know yet.
The move to the Big East is obvious, but even President Turner, when he was in there a minute ago, mentioned we all know there could be other things, other domino. Talk about where you see the landscape of all that right now, and just, how stabilized or how worried are you that things do continue to dominate?
Yeah, I'm not worried because I don't know what we can do about it other than to position ourselves for the what if, which is what we'll try to do. And by that I mean, I'm a loyal person, so I think it's important that we're committed to the Big East Conference and that we do everything we can to make that conference as strong as possible and so that it will endure. But certainly I think we've got to be smart, and this is what we would do anyway in any situation, to develop the program in a way, and that's why when I talk about comprehensive excellence, so that regardless of where the landscape takes us, we will be an attractive member at the highest level of competition, if you will.
Anything else, guys?
President Turner talked about your background in marketing and external affairs. Do you plan to take a very hands-on involvement in those roles as you try to reach out into the community and make SMU a little more visible?
Well, I'll answer it this way. Internally, I don't anticipate being any more hands-on in any particular area than any other one. My management style is really to get good people and get them doing the right things and give them some parameters as it relates to how we operate, and then let them go do their jobs and ask them how I can help. But externally, I absolutely think it's a critical role for any athletics director to play, to be visible, to be present, to be accessible, to help deliver our message and invite people to participate as we try to elevate, not just our athletics program, but again, the profile of the entire university.
You said the hardest part was selling your kids on the idea of moving from Chattanooga to Dallas. How'd you talk them into the idea and make them warm up to it?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really talking them into it or selling them on it. It was more just letting them know what was happening. And that, again, Chattanooga's a special place, and we've got great friends there, and so the quality of life was high. We did not feel like there was any need to seek, another job. So this, again, but this is a unique opportunity, and that's why we're here. And so they just had to, it was sudden, as you can imagine. This happened very quickly. We didn't mention anything to them until we knew it was going to happen. And so, it was a lot for anybody, regardless of age, to take in. But they're on board now. They just needed that initial time to ask us some questions and learn a little more. Now that we have them here and they can actually see it, I think that'll really accelerate that process as well.